Okay, so I did run into one recipe I'm going to modify here. So before I was using vinyl acetate and oxygen to make polyvinyl acetate. I'm going to change this to use the titanium tetrachloride recipe because it gives a lot more extra polyvinyl acetate. And then this is just going to be liquid only LCR2. So LCR liquid only C2. And then the rest of these I have down here are, whoops, those did not go into the LCR item one. I just go type item. All right, there we go. All right, so we are going to need titanium tetrachloride. So how are we going to be making that, you ask? Well, I mean, obviously we're going to be using this recipe. Whoops, wrong terminal, as per usual. We're going to be using this recipe. We are not going to include the carbon monoxide. That's just going to be a byproduct. And this is an item related, so LCR item. All right, and we do need rutile though. So rutile, we don't have any. I'm going to, like, one rutile is going to go a long way. It's going to go for that recipe times 10. So I'm just going to get a little bit of bauxite and throw it in ore processing, and then we will test that once, where am I going? Over here. Once this is a little bit more processed through, I might need to have bauxite jump the line here, though, because there's a lot of stuff waiting currently. Here, let me make some room down the line over here. These all have energium crystals in them now, so it's not really, you know, using, what am I trying to say here? It's not really, gonna clog them up, but it will make that horrible noise. Oh my goodness. Put that titanium up there to process. Alright, some bauxite should already be making its way over here. Yeah, it's already here. Alright, bauxite, I'm just going to have you jump the line right there. I'm gonna go to the void world to fix that horrible noise. Okay. And then I'm gonna go back down here and continue having bauxite jump the line. Oh, bauxite doesn't need to jump the line here because it goes into this chemical washer, okay? But it will need to jump the line from there because this box is full. I'll deal with that once it's all macerated and washed. Alright, I'm just gonna continue working through my recipes here, which isn't too many more, but I'll be back soon. Alright, I think I got all the recipes sorted into their appropriate large chemical reactor. So if we go search for a large chemical reactor, these are the items that only have fluid outputs and they don't use a circuit. Apparently we didn't have any for circuit 1, but we will because I'm going to add some stuff in here. Here's circuit 2, was the dichlorobenzene, polyvinyl acetate, and the acetic acid. These, again, only use fluids. Circuit 24, the only one we had in there at the moment is for the acetone and phenol. I didn't say asol. I'm sorry. We're not producing asol in our large chemical reactor, I swear. And then our circuit 3 is for vinyl acetate currently. And then we have a lot of things in our item reactor. Basically, all of these have at least one item in them, and if they have an item that needs a program circuit as well, then the program circuit's also included. Like this one is sodium hydroxide and program circuit. I think that's the program circuit 23 one, right? Yeah, program circuit 23, as you can see. So LCR item. And then really quickly, just because I like them to be in order, even though for some reason grabbing items out of here is like pulling teeth. I don't know why the interfaces feel so non-responsive. So those are all in order, and then we can put our nano CPU, qubit, and HPIC in order. Put these fluids next to each other. Okay, sure. Good enough, right? We've already used over half the space in here, so TBD if we need more. Hopefully not, because like I've mentioned in previous episodes, this setup where you have an interface touching an item bus and a fluid tank is not, you cannot do that with the P2P tunnels. So if we do have another one, we're basically going to just need to have a different machine. Or we'll have the same machine touching the input bus on the other side, but yeah, that's going to be a little annoying. Okay, let's go ahead and give it a test craft, I guess. All our channels are good over here and stuff. So we have this branch comes off here. Should be 8 channels coming this way. Is this only 8 channels? Oh no, this one is 20 channels so far. Okay. So 8 channels this way. And then 7 channels go up. 6 channels go up. We're missing a channel. Here we go. Smart cable. Forgot this guy right here. Oh, wait. Wait, what? What was that? Did I just see an item? Oh, you know what? I think it probably auto-crafted rubber from our fluid stock keeper. So, okay, like, whatever. Yeah, styrene butadiene. It must have just done that. Okay, let's do like a test craft. Let's do some rubber. Not that kind though. This kind. Here, let's do like 16,000 rubbers. And let's see if it does all of that. Oh, okay. It did all that before I could even get over there. Let's do some polybutyriol. Butyriol. What is this stuff made out of again? Polyvinyl butyriol. Okay. Let's do like 1024. Oh, and we're missing rutile, right? Because it needs to make the titanium tetrachloride. Let's see if we can get that fixed really quick. Where's rutile in the processing chain right here? How's our energy and battery? Drained. Okay, well, color me surprised. We did just kind of shove a whole ton into there. Okay, well, that's just going to be like fighting a losing race to try to get more in there, so hopefully that 64 I put is enough for some bauxite. Or bauxite rutile, I mean. Yep, we already got 1 rutile. So that's should be enough for the butyriol. I need to go up here because it's a fluid and I have fluids hidden on that terminal. Here we go. Yep, that was lightning fast, right? And then what else do we have? We don't have polybenzimidazole yet, do we? Wait, do we? I don't think we have polybenzimidazole. We do have epoxy, though. We can get, like, some epoxy going here. I mean, it's too fast now. What can I say? Alright, so that's all done. Now, I would actually like to set some of these up down here as well. So let's go ahead and do some of that, yeah? Where does carbon dioxide come from? Why do we have a bunch of carbon dioxide in here? I don't know. Must be a byproduct of... Oh, a byproduct of gassy egg. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to decommission these guys right now. I'm going to grab you. Yoink. And yoink. And yoink. And yoink. So these are our 4 chemical reactors that we're doing gassy egg processing. And instead, we are going to go and put them in here. These are items, right? So we are going to put this in here. And we need the program circuit. So this is program circuit number 1, right? For oxygen. You have program circuit number 1. And I'm going to scale up the recipe to, like, I don't know, 2 stacks of eggs or something? 4 stacks of eggs? Sure. And that's going to make a boatload of oxygen gas. And it's going to be lightning fast. How fast is lightning fast? Okay, technically it's still going to take like it can do one recipe per tick, right? So that's still going to take that's going to take 256 ticks because it can't do it in parallel. We can't do parallel on LCR, right? Large chemical reactor. Does it support parallel hatches? I feel like it does not. Maintenance hatch, energy patch, input, output. Yeah, no parallel hatches allowed on here. I saw an extra block in it. I was just like, oh, it's just the coil block. Never mind. Okay. So yeah, unfortunately, that's just how it's going to be when we make oxygen or the other things with these gassy eggs. Oh, and we need circuit 1 in here. Whoops. Circuit 1. All right, so there's gassy egg for oxygen. Here's gassy egg for nitrogen. Whoops, too much. And that's circuit 2, right? Circuit 2. Oh, and just reminded myself of something. I need to come down here and make sure all of these are also set for blocking mode, because those are still going to be blocking mode. They're only going to be blocking the fluid, though. Totally forgot that stuff. Okay, so LCR nitrogen is set. Now we do hydrogen. Hydrogen's going to be a popular one. And this one is, how long does this take to process? It's still going to process in 1 tick. So hydrogen is now the same speed as oxygen. And what circuit was it? My bad, I forgot to look. 13. All right, so there is our hydrogen. And then, last but not least, I mean, carbon dioxide. Let me look at carbon dioxide really quick because I'm not sure we really need it automated. So we're going to electrolyze it for oxygen, sure. Why does this make 3 things? It's 1 thing. This should be 3,000 carbon dioxide. No, whatever. So it's used for methanol, which we might want this recipe for methanol. Used for carbon monoxide, we do actually use that recipe. Used for calcite, for magnesite, and then this recipe with glycerol, which we're not doing, and then soda ash. What are these things used for? That's not even used for anything. Okay, so I don't think I'm gonna set up carbon dioxide just because like we don't really use it. And it's kind of a byproduct of other things. So if we end up needing it in the future, I'll add it, but I'm just kind of worried about, you can already see how full this chemical reactor is just of other things, and I don't want to overload it with a ton of stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that for now. But all right, let's do some other steps down here that we're currently using for, like, for example, sulfur, right? Sulfur I am going to just take out. We don't need sulfuric acid made in this way anymore. So let me make sure there's no items in here. There are items in here, but that's fine. They're just going to go in my inventory. So for sulfuric acid, I'm just going to do these conversions one by one. Sulfuric acid. Let's go ahead. There's a few options. So this 24 with water is a nice option, obviously. But let's just double check what other options there are. Hydrogen sulfide plus oxygen, silver trioxide plus water. So yeah, that's our kind of direct step that we can do in the chemical reactor. And because this has an item, I'm going to put program circuit 24 in there with it. And now that can just make like a stupid amount of sulfuric acid on a dime. So LCR item. How much sulfuric acid do we have right now? We have 3,890 buckets. So if I wanted to make like 50 buckets of sulfuric acid, how long would that take? Sulfuric acid, I think it's going to take like 2.5 seconds, right? Not quite, but it is still like blazingly fast. Like intensely fast. Okay, so cool. We now have sulfur on the demand. What else do we have on demand down here? I'm not going to mess with ethanol because ethanol uses an electrolyzer and a chemical bath and an extractor and a brewery and a distillery. I won't mess with sodium bisulfate. Rubber, regular rubber we can certainly do, but I don't think we need regular rubber. Okay, I'm going to be right back, and then we'll continue this conversion in a moment. Okay, I am back. Let me remind myself what I was doing, where I was at with these. Alright, so we have these 3 machines doing all this stuff for chloroform? Where's chloroform going? Chloroform is just for tetrafluoroethylene, right? I think that's all I'm using it for. And then also here is PVC, and here is polyethylene. I think I want to go ahead and replace these. Basically, I'm going to move everything that's in a chemical reactor that's currently like being made on demand or continuously. I'm just going to move that up to our AE system, because you saw how fast it crafts, right? And then I will use a level maintainer or something to keep those stocked. Okay, so let's grab these machines. So this is PTFE, this is PVC, and this is polyethylene. All right. Plastic eggs can go over here. Carbon can go up there. Right. So let's do PTFE first. So we are going to use this recipe with the titanium tetrachloride. And this goes in reactor number 2, so LCR C2. Now we're going to need to automate a couple more of these things. So we're going to need tetrafluoroethylene gas. We can make that straight from hydrofluoric acid, methane, and chlorine. Otherwise, we need to take the methane and chlorine and make the chloroform first, or do it with hydrochloric acid. This is fine, I think. We'll just do this recipe, and this is circuit 24. We're going to take out the hydrochloric acid, though. So C24. All right, and then we have methane, we have chlorine. We need hydrofluoric acid, so that one is going to be this recipe right here. And this is just a C0, so C0. All right, so there's PTFE automated. So now if we go PTFE, we can craft like 1,000,000 drops of this if we wanted to, except we don't have enough chlorine, but you get the idea. 100,000 drops, there we go. It would be, I'm not going to do it because it would kind of be like a waste. Also, like, look, it's very, very little rutile that it needs, so. And we have 168, so that's a lot of rutile for what it gives. All right, let's do polyethylene. Polyethylene. Polyethylene, we are going to do this recipe. So this is program circuit 3. And I'm going to be doing this recipe instead of the plastic egg, because the plastic egg uses ethanol, which is honestly a little bit more annoying to make at this point than ethylene. So we're just going to use this one, ethylene, titanium tetrachloride, and oxygen. And what was it again? It was number 3? Yes, okay, so reactor number 3, C3. All right, and then PVC. So PVC, we're again gonna need, we could do chlorine plus polyethylene. But this is not even a balanced, this is not like a balanced chemical formula at all. That must be one that's added by the mod pack because they're like, oh, it's too hard. Here, make it easier. All right, let's do this one. This is reactor 2 for, whoops, I'm in the wrong thing, of course. PVC, reactor 2 right here. C2. And then we're also going to need the vinyl chloride gas itself. So for that, we are going to do, we can do hydrochloric acid, ethylene, and oxygen. We don't have ethane, so we're not going to do that one. We can do ethylene and chlorine. But you know what? We're using so much, what's it called? We're making so much hydrochloric acid. It's just like a byproduct of a lot of random reactions. So I'm going to use this one with the hydrochloric acid input instead of using the raw chlorine input. Because look, that makes hydrochloric acid. I'm like, we don't want any more of that. We have enough. Okay, so let's do this one. Reactor 3, take out the water. Okay. So there's PVC automated. Cool. So I can go to PVC, make a bunch of those if I wanted to. All right. What else do we need to automate here? Hydrochloric acid, even though we're realistically never going to run out of that. So HCl. This is a centrifuge. This is a centrifuge. Okay. Chemical reactors. Let's see here. Sodium bisulfate. What are we doing with that again? I think we electrolyze it. Yeah, this only goes into the electrolyzer, so this is just strictly feeding in there. So I'm just gonna leave that one. Rubber. Okay, rubber is something I don't know if we actually need. Let's see if we even need liquid rubber. I think there are some recipes that require liquid rubber specifically, like this one. Nope, like this doesn't even require liquid rubber. Any cables that use rubber, we can just use other kinds of rubber. So I think, let's go ahead and take rubber out. I don't think we're going to need rubber. Ammonia, nitrogen dioxide. This is nitric acid here. Let's do rubber first. So we're going to have a lot of conversion to do with the rubber here. The rubber is going to hit the road, if you will. So rubber, or first of all, let's see. Anything that uses rubber as an input. So rubber, so a drop of liquid rubber, liquid rubber, liquid rubber. You get the idea, right? Liquid styrene butadiene, we don't need to change that one. You can't like do a liquid rubber. Can you do a... Oh yeah, you can do like a advanced search expression in here. Okay. So we can use this to rubber pulp for rubber ring. What are we going to use rubber ring for? Rubber ring, what are you used for? They're used for pumps. They're used for those that we don't need to make. They're used for these logistic basic pipes. Okay. I think we have enough liquid rubber to meet our foreseeable needs in that regard, but anything else that's using a rubber ring, I will go ahead and I'll go ahead and fix those recipes as well. Rubber sheets as well, I think we're going to need to fix it. Okay, let's fix these cables first. So this cable is going to go to the styrene butadiene. You're going to go to the styrene butadiene. Styrene butadiene. I hear a little dog barking in the background, but can't really do anything about that. She is in the other room, and the door is closed, so. Alright, so all of those should be good. Oh yeah, also, Signalum. I forgot to mention this. Signalum, you used to be able to make this in the arc furnace and furnace, but I never automated it like that because I was like, that's not intended. And then, hey, look at that. Now you can only make it in the arc furnace. You're welcome. I'm the one who reported that. And don't get it twisted, that was definitely not intended. So, alright, can I just do liquid rubber? Can I do like any kind of wildcard in here? It doesn't seem like you can do wildcards in here. Yeah, no wildcards seem to be working here. But you can do liquid minus styrene. Polyethylene. Oh, not liquid. Sorry, we need rubber. Rubber minus styrene. So we need rubber sheets. Anything that uses rubber sheets or rubber rings, we need to change those. And then I think we're not going to need rubber pulp either. Rubber sheet. I forgot to look to see if that's actually something we need. I guess if we want to make range add-ons here for this thing. Again, though, we have enough rubber in the stockpile to be able to handle that. Black studs. Don't know what those are for. Thin rubber sheets not used for anything. Okay, so I think we can retire those. We just need to take anything that uses rubber rings. So, ring. Where do you have ring in this word here? I do not see the... Oh, cross engineering. So minus NG. And where's ring in this word? Oh, zinc ferrite ring. Okay, that's fine. Solder ring alloy. I don't think any of these use rubber rings. Okay, so we don't have any rings in there. We do have to look through our recipes that use rings and use sheets, so that's going to be like, so conveyor belts. That's already using styrene butadiene, okay. Let me just go ahead and unencode these so that I don't get them mixed up. Alright, conveyor belt. Why does this have conveyor? Oh, because it needs a conveyor module, right? We don't even need that in there. Get that out of there. Okay, so let's look at these four patterns. So you change this to use styrene butadiene. You are also going to be changed. And you. And you. Okay, so that should be everything that uses rubber sheets that we had automated, I believe. Do we have any cable pattern? I don't think we were making any more cables with the... Oh, cable doesn't use rubber anyway, so I'm thinking of a different mod pack. Okay. Okay, and then pumps would be our last thing. Pump. So that one's already set. Let me just get all of these in my inventory again. So you're good. Need to update this one. Oh. Styrene butadiene rubber ring. Let me just grab the actual ring because I don't want to shift click these back in the grid. I'm going to have to reselect the screwdriver and the wrench and all that nonsense. All right. right, okay, that should be everything that uses rubber rings. So now if I search rubber ring, should be only styrene butadiene, yep, and then rubber sheet, only styrene butadiene. Okay, perfect. Nice, love to see it. We don't need this guy anymore, right? This guy has like no purpose for existing. Kind of sad, but I mean, maybe we'll use it somewhere for something. All right, so rubber is taken care of. We don't need any more regular rubber. If we have a need for regular rubber, we have 2,000 buckets of it, but we're probably not going to need any more. Nitric acid next. Let's go. I'm digging this large scale breaking down of processes, by the way, if you can't tell. Nitric acid's going to be a little bit tricky because there's actually kind of a lot that is leaning on it. So we need tetranitromethane. Okay, I just opened a soda and spilled it on myself. Good job, me. So tetranitromethane. We need the nitric acid itself. I don't think we need methyl acetate for anything specifically, just for the tetranitromethane. Acetic acid, I think, is the same. Methanol, I think, is the same. And what is this even making? Oh, this is this is part of platline processing. Okay, so we do need that one still. Rhodium sulfate. What happens in here again? Water plus whatever this makes, I guess. Okay. Is this one of these needed nitric acid, right? Yeah, nitric acid. This is making nitrate aqua regia. Okay. So aqua regia is in a mixer. We're gonna leave it in the mixer. What is this tank? Ammonia. Oh, it's because I had another process like spitting out ammonia. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and do nitric acid, I think. We are good to go ahead and do that. Nitric acid and ethanone. But nitric acid we're going to need to supply back into our system. And so we're going to need to do the same for ethanone, because ethanone is needed over here, and then nitric acid is needed over there. So we're going to need to make some tanks for that. So super tank. Let's make 2 of these guys. Gonna have some provider pipes. Provider. Super tank, hello? Why is that taking so long? Oh, the rotor, of course. Yeah, extruder. Man. It is slow. Those extruders are slow. Okay, and then we're gonna need 2 fluid storage buses. Give me 2 of those, please. I'm gonna pop these right here. We're gonna stick the fluid providers on them. And then I'm gonna need another smart cable. Stick those right on there. And then here we are going to have nitric acid. Okay, I guess I'm gonna configure that as well with high priority. And then here we are going to have ethanone. No, not ethanone. Tetranitromethane. Tetranitromethane. With high priority. Radon? See, like, that's why we gotta filter our junk, man. Get out of there, radon. Tetranitromethane, okay. And we will put voiding on for these, but we're not gonna be making that much in all likelihood. Alright, so let's take apart... And I guess we'll put ammonia. I mean, how do we make nitric acid? Let me look. Nitric acid, how do we make it? So we can make it directly from oxygen, hydrogen, and oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen. Or we can make it with ammonia. And the thing is, one of our processes over here, yeah, this one, ammonium chloride dust, when we are processing palladium, that gives us ammonia back. So if we had a way to use that ammonia, that would be ideal. So I had put a tank here to catch ammonia before. We're gonna go ahead and move that over to down here, and I'm gonna need to sort out channels right now because this line is capped out. 32 channels. That's what a fully lit up line looks like, by the way. Okay. Let's see. What would be the best way to put more channels on here? Probably just have this. No, there's an interface there. How many channels go over here? 9? Let's have this not connect over here. I'm going to make another peer-to-peer over here, or point-to-point. So let me go ahead and chisel, and then turn these back into smart cables, and then where's our point-to-point? Let's go along here. This is still on our point-to-point net. Oh, right, our point-to-point network should be black cables. There we go. All right, let's do a point-to-point right here. Wow, this wireless range is awful. Uh-oh. Where are we losing items? What did I break? Okay, P2P. And then I'm gonna need my memory card. Then I'm gonna need another dense cable. Alright, I wanna connect this P2P before I connect the dense cable so it doesn't go all crazy mode on me. And now, because we have more channels, I'm going to probably put more dense cables here. So bring this out a couple more cables. That doesn't need to be there now. Dense. How many more channels do we have here now? We have 10 more channels. Okay, so let's just go a few dense cables out this way. That can break off there. Let's use arc. What happened to my P2P, by the way? P2P. I bet I know what happened when I was messing with the network. This probably blipped out. Yeah, see, my engineering processor is in there, but it's like, nope. I'm just gonna be broken now. That is kind of an annoying glitch, but I mean, just being able to do that at all is like so insanely good that it's kind of like, okay, we will deal with it. Right, there we go. Those channels are now fixed up here. All right, our ammonia is gonna be right here. Remember when I used to be in these interfaces all the time? Yep, I know, right? Routed. We don't actually need ammonia to come out of here, I don't think. Because we're not using ammonia for anything down here anymore. So... yeah, we're not making any of that anymore. So here we go. Ammonia will come here. We need fluid storage. Storage bus here. Get a smart cable. color it red. Put ammonia in here before some other fluid goes in here. Radon. Oh, it was already locked to ammonia. Never mind. Okay. How did that get down there? Slightly confused about that one. There we go. All right. So now ammonia has a home when that process makes it. I guess I could have also put ammonia in a fluid terminus going into our fluid interface, but that was causing some lag issues, so I decided not to do that before. I already set up everything, so it is what it is. All right, so ammonia is made with... We can make that process. Well, let me do the nitric acid first. So nitric acid is made with ammonia, circuit 23. Doesn't make water. Okay, so 23, I meant 24. Ammonia is... We can make it with methane, nitrogen, and oxygen. It makes carbon monoxide as a byproduct. Or we can make it just with oxygen and nitrogen directly. What do we use carbon monoxide for? We use that for something, right? I think we use it for butyraldehyde. Okay, well, we're going to be making so much more nitric acid than we're going to be making carbon monoxide, so let's just keep it separate. So let's do this recipe. That is circuit 1. Our first circuit 1 recipe, wow. Some say it wouldn't be done. Okay, so tetranitromethane now. I don't want to use the glowstone recipe, just because we don't have a sustainable method of glowstone setup, although we could do it like with witches' hats from the alchemical matter infuser, though this is kind of expensive. 3 pristine matters for 6 glowstone? No, that's junk, never mind. We're not going to do that. The other way would be like from some kind of redstone ore automation. Infusing gunpowder. That's not a bad way to go, but it's... I don't want to automate that thing. Squeezing glowstone dust. Oh, this would actually be a good way to get this. But I would need to go, collect the stuff to make these faint amaranths. Yeah, honestly, not going to worry about that recipe. We've been doing nitric acid plus ethanol, I think, is what we've been doing. Or no, we've been doing this one, the methyl acetate. How do we make ethanol? Distill acetone. We're definitely not going to do that. Acetic acid plus sulfuric acid. Do we have... I think we already have acetic acid automated, right? We do. Right, let's just do that then. So this is just methyl acetate. How do you make methyl acetate again? Acetic acid plus methanol. Do we need methanol for anything else? Dimethyl hydrazine, that's rocket fuel, right? Yeah, we don't need that. Dimethylamine, do we need that? That is also for rocket fuel. Glycerol, biofuel, we're not doing those. Raw gasoline, not doing that. Chemical reactor, methyl acetate, acetic acid. Chloromethane, I feel like that's used for something, right? Yeah, that's used for silicon rubber. But there's other ways to make that, right? Oh, no, there's not. Kind of at odds here, to be honest. I don't know what to do. I think we will eventually need silicone rubber for something. Silicone rubber. Like, there was some recipe I remember seeing that, like, it only accepted silicone sheets or something. This one? Aha, thin silicone. So we will need silicone rubber eventually. So we should just make methanol. And then with the methanol, we can also use it for... I mean, really, it doesn't really matter that much, huh? The more I look at this, acetic acid plus methanol. Wait, methyl acetate, what is that for? Whatever, brother. Okay. Because this is already stuff we're using. We would need to make ethanol. We don't use ethanol for anything else, right? Yeah, so let's not make an extra thing that we don't really need. Let's just make another thing that we only need for this. Very roundabout process there. And this does make an item, so that goes in our... Take those out. This goes in C0, though. So C0. So tetranitromethane is nitric acid. Did I do nitric acid already? Nitric acid is done. And methyl acetate. So methyl acetate we got to do. This is circuit 1 as well. C1, or not as well. It is circuit 1. Acetic acid we've got, so now we do methanol, and methanol is going to be in carbon dioxide. We could give carbon dioxide a use finally. Yeah, why don't we use this carbon dioxide 2 recipe here? Take the water out of there. Wait, hold on. I took out too many things. Carbon dioxide, hydrogen, water, methanol. There we go. And that was C2, right? Yes. Okay, C2. All right. Now we need to go down and we need to maintain nitric acid, and we have a fluid maintainer down here, and ethanol. So ethanol, not ethanol, tetranitromethane. So tetranitromethane. Oh, we're gonna need like a bucket of it, aren't we? Where do I have a bucket? In one of these machines, right? Yeah, right there. Good. Just a cell of it. And then nitric acid. I will... Actually, why did I come down here to grab it? I can just, like, make it upstairs. Right? So let's make nitric acid. Yep, it's that fast. We get another cell for the nitric acid. Something tells me this won't work, actually, because it's an acid. Yep, but the cell will work, so there we go. Alright, so nitric acid, I'm going to maintain 100 buckets and just craft it in increments of 100, I guess. Yeah, let's do 1,000,000 buckets. Or, sorry, 1,000 buckets. And then tetranitromethane, I'm going to craft 100 in increments of 10k. Okay, so those fluids should start auto-crafting now. It's beautiful. Oh, the methyl acetate and nitric acid are fighting for the chemical reactor. It's okay. Once these are built up, they're not gonna, be bothering each other. Go ahead and put our fluids back into storage there. Yo, what happened to our water? Oh, shoot. Oh, no. I forgot to hook this back up over here. Crap. Why do I have 2 P2Ps in my inventory? Was I going to use one for something else? Okay, you need to be bound to... We're binding input to an unbound. There we go. Any of these not set ones. There we go. Somewhere on our controller. Excellent. Okay, so now we have a bunch of fluids that are in cells that should not be in cells. So let's go like get these. Like for example, we have life essence in here. We have nothing weird in there. We have water in here. And okay, nothing weird in any of these other ones. I'm gonna wait for the fluids to be done crafting so it doesn't start like moving stuff around frantically. Oh, look at this. Look at this. It's now making oxygen because I guess we used all of our oxygen to make all of that nitric acid. Can we look at the input bus on here? It's a beautiful sight. I wish it could craft faster, but it cannot because that is crafting 1 per tick, and yeah. However, yep, that actually does make it craft faster though. And I'm just worried about power though if I accelerate it too much. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Unfortunately, there's no way to do parallel crafting with large chemical reactors without, like, making more of them. So, if we're only using 1 large chemical reactor, we're limited to that speed. Alright, and oh, it's continuing to make more nitric acid, huh? How much oxygen do we need down here? Jeez, did it, like, really take all the oxygen? Good lord. Do we have some dust that we can, like, send to the electrolyzer to help it out? Dust. What kind of dust do we have that we can electrolyze? We don't have much almandine, but sure. Send that down here. Almandine. What else can we send down? Barite? I mean, I don't know what else we're going to use it for, right? Barite dust right there. Certus quartz dust? Nah. We leave that. Okay, we don't really... Oh, here's a one we have a lot of grossular. Okay, so that's going to start pulling these dust that are going to centrifuge into oxygen. That's not really like to replace our oxygen production. That's just like to give it a little boost because we're doing so much nitric acid suddenly out of nowhere. And our oxygen supply is just like overwhelmed. What is this looking like back here? Oh, what? That's a little funny. I should probably be wary of accelerating this because if some other recipe comes in here, it's just gonna, like, not be able to run. Also, I've glitched the sound, of course. Alright, so it looks like we're done auto-crafting fluids. How's our nitric acid? Nitric acid is set. We're probably out of gassy eggs, aren't we? Gassy? Yeah, out of gassy eggs, as I thought. Can actually come down here and accelerate that. And that's just going to get all of the eggs out really quickly. Just whatever's like built up in the roosts there. And then how's our ethanol or tetranitromethane? It is at 100 buckets, so that's exactly where we want that to be. And I forget, we did put that on a provider pipe, right? So that our fuel processing can pick it up? Yes, okay. And nitric acid's on a provider. Ammonia exists for when we do flatline processing. All right. All in all, good progress, I think. I don't want to mess with this stuff because this is flatline stuff. This was part of that one's flatline right here. This was part of ethanol. That's part of ethanol. Methyl acetate was part of ethanol. Tetranitromethane, I mean. Keep saying the wrong dang thing like 10 times in a row. I know we're like throwing away a bunch of oxygen and gas and ammonia and such, but it's like, it's okay. It doesn't matter. We have infinite amounts of those things. Like, have you ever taken a deep breath? That's right, you've inhaled those even. Okay. Lots of logistic pipes just kind of chilling here, not really hooked up to anything anymore. Kind of funny. Go ahead and pick these up really quick. Okay. Do I want to come through here and clean this all up right now? It's not really... I mean, it's not immediately necessary, but kind of. Clean up as we go, you know? So these machines are going to stay over here. And we still have this logic pipe going all the way over here. That's going to stay hooked up. What is this? Uh-oh. I broke something that should not have been broken. Let's see. Unrouted pipe can go right there. Okay, let's go ahead and break all of these guys because they're... I was going to say they're no longer hooked up to anything, and then I break the dang power cable. Okay, there we go. Power's hooked back up. These I'm going to hook up like over here with a unrouted cable. Do I not have any unrouted cables? Here's one. Alright, that's hooked back up. This doesn't hook up to anything. I guess I can do this as well. Just use a basic right there. Because these all do need to be hooked up still. So I'm going to leave those hooked up. This is hooked up for power. This is hooked up for ethanol. This is hooked up for diluted sulfuric and... what's the other thing called? Hydrochloric acid. That's fluorine. This is argon and helium. Okay, I think... Gee, I think we're all cleaned up down here. So everything that used to be down here, no more. Don't need it anymore. Goodbye. So yeah, I'll finish cleaning this up a little bit more. I'll, like, replace all the pipes with essential things. Probably, like, run a shorter pipe over here, so it's not like, why is there a bajillion pipes over here, though. From here to here is not that long of a run, so I might just do that. But anyways, this episode's gone long enough. I'm probably going to split this into 2 recordings, if it hasn't already happened. If you're enjoying the series, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Goodbye. I'm going to stop recording now. Bye.